Hey everybody, Lava Moving here, back for another deck profile. Today we're going to be doing everyone's fan favorite, Altergeist. And before this starts, I'd love to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Dylan. Or Lugia Maceroni, who will be supplying me for the next deck profile when it comes out. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be Gravekeepers. But yeah, that does. And before we start off, let's kick it off right. If you guys could comment, subscribe, and like the video, it really helps me out trying to grow my channel. But without further ado, let's begin the deck profile. So, beginning off, you play 3 Altergeist Marionetter. It's just because when Marionetter is normal summon, you get to set a Altergeist trap directly from your deck, which you would either set Altergeist Protocol or Manifestation. It's just to help you combo off harder, because you do a lot on your opponent's turn, because this is a control deck. So, that to the side. Oh yeah, and I also forgot, I will be showing some basic combos with this deck, with my hand and stuff. So, next is 3 Altergeist Melseek. So, Melseek's really fun, because when she's summoned, and then you can attack directly with her, and when she does damage, you can send one card your opponent controls to the graveyard. So, really good card. Also, when she's used for a Link summon, you basically get to add an Altergeist monster from your deck to your hand. So, you would basically add Multi-Faker if it's not already in your hand. And you get to do some really crazy combos with her, too. Next, play 2 Altergeist Silk. I don't even know how to say it. I'm just going to say Altergeist Silk, because with Silk's effect, you can quick effect, return 1 Altergeist card you control, well, 1 face-up Altergeist card, and 1 of their cards. So you could return Protocol or Manifestation, so you can reset Manifestation, just because getting off with something is really cool. Or you use Manifestation to revive Silk, then you use Silk's effect to bounce Manifestation to your hand, and then bounce, and then Manifestation, once it leaves, it'll send the monster to the grave. You just have endless combos. Also, this is the target for Multi-Faker when you activate it, when Multi-Faker is summoned. So, really good card. Next, 2 Altergeist Konkori. Just because when your opponent monster your opponent monster declares an attack, if you control an Altergeist monster, you can special summon this card in defense mode. And then, you can special this card, and if you do negate the attack, if this card is special summon, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls, negate the effects of that card while this is face-up on the field. So, it's really useful against decks that, have face-up continuous stuff, or, it's just really they have annoying cards or other stuff like that. Plus, it protects one of your Altergeist monsters that you don't want destroyed. So yeah, that really helps. Next, we have the 1 Multi-Faker. Obviously, you play 3, but Multi-Faker is limited for a good reason. But the combo with Multi-Faker is, how I was explaining earlier, as soon as you special summon Multi-Faker, as soon as you activate a trap card and Multi-Faker's in your hand, you can chain Multi-Faker to special summon it and 1 Altergeist monster from your deck, which then you would just summon, summon Silk in defense mode, because Multi-Faker says it has to be in defense mode. Another play with it is, so if you, what was it? I'm trying to remember, sorry, it's been a while since I've kind of played this deck, but another funny thing is, if you were to activate personal spoofing, and use its effect to add, as soon as Multi-Faker comes to your hand, the trap card hasn't resolved yet, so Multi-Faker goes off, allowing you to special summon it and the 1 Altergeist monster from deck. So Multi-Faker being at 1 definitely kind of kills the deck slightly, but right now it's still very good. And if Multi-Faker was at 3, it would definitely be one of the top decks. Now we're moving on to your hand traps. 3 Ash Blossom, and yes, I know, before everyone goes fucking crazy, I have different variants of it, just because I like screwing with people, and it's kind of funny. But Ash, really good card, just stops a lot of decks, stops a lot of searching, and that's why you play at 3. Now, This is optional for the next hand trap, but I like it because it's really good against certain matchups. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. So it's really good against the Orcus matchup, but people are like, oh, you can just Long Gearsu effect loop back because it banishes the copies from your extra deck if they control more monsters than you. Activate this card, discard it, target the card in your extra deck, and if both you and your opponent, if your opponent has any copies of it, they banish it. But then people are like, again, Long Gearsu, loop 2 back. Problem with that is they have to go even harder into Long Gearsu. They have to use more resources to get into a Link 3, and Galatea is more of an immediate threat than Long because Galatea searches out their negate, their crescendo, and it's just more of a useful card. I mean, you can obviously hit the Long Gearsu, but they'll still get out Ding because all they need is an Orcus Link. But I just find cherries to be a little more useful than Ogre or Belle or Spooky Dogwood for even that reason. But she's really good. And this is just a troll card. It's discard fodder, so for like the other cards in your deck, you'll see why. But it's just pretty much discard fodder at this point. And also it's to do something funny with the other cards you play. One, Sengenjin. I know, of all the things, you could run better discard fodder, but you'll see why he's kind of funny here in a minute. So moving on to your Altergeist traps. 2 Protocol and 1 Manifestation. So like I was talking about earlier with Silk, allowing you to loop back. There are people who say like 2 Manifestation and 3 Protocol. No, because Marionetter already can search, and it's like you're fine because it's just there's no point. Plus, also your personal spoofing lets you shuffle these. So like if you don't open up a monster, you're kind of screwed turn 1 for reasons. But like if you open up like this and spoofing, not really because you can get Multi-Faker on the field, which is nice, but. You already have to activate 2 cards face up, which, it's... But, and then the Protocol is a free monster negate, and it's basically tells you cannot interrupt Altergeist cards. So if you have Judgment or Crescendo or anything set, and this is already face up on the field before the fact, you're just going to sit there like, okay, can't do crap. You have to wait till afterwards. Well, you just can't do it, but yeah. And Manifestation, again, just a nice little special summon from Grave and stuff, so you can combo off hard on their turn. Next is 3 Personal Spoofing. It's you can just shuffle an Altergeist card. Once per turn, you can shuffle an Altergeist card from your hand or face up from your field into the deck, and then add an Altergeist monster from your deck to your hand. So that's when Multi-Faker would come into effect. Because if you don't already have Multi-Faker in your hand or something like that, you would immediately add the card to hand through spoofing, and then Multi-Faker's effect goes off in a separate chain, which then summons her from deck. So it's a really good card to have. Plus, you can loop back a card in your hand that you don't want to see, or you just don't need at the time. So really good card. And that's pretty much like all the Altergeist traps, all the Altergeist cards left in deck, because here comes the rest. Next is Triple Crackdown, because the reason why I said it's Sengenjin is kind of funny. So Crackdown, the reason why I run Sengenjin is because let's say you activate 2 of your Crackdowns, that takes up 2 of your spell and trap card zones that if you have cards in your hand that you actually want set instead of that, and you can't get rid of them, you could just, you can use Silk, but Silk is more reserved for something else, because if you don't want to bounce Silk and bounce like the monster or anything, like you just don't want to do that. So you contribute 2, summon Sengenjin, and then free up your space, and you have a 27 beater on board, which sometimes you rarely want to do that because you might have a better normal summon, but it's just there to get rid of the 2, get rid of them. But also if you don't want them to get them engraved, then you can keep them or link them either way. But it's just kind of funny because linking may not be like the best thing because of the last three when I show you. But next is the Solemn Brigade, so triple Solemn Judgment and triple Solemn Strike. Borderline, good card, good negate. Solemn Judgment basically stops almost anything. Strikes just stop the summon. Really good negate. Really good against pendulums because when they pen summon, it counts as one special summon altogether. So really good. Judgment, who cares about paying half your life points when you can stop almost anything, and it's a counter. So really good. Really good brigade there. Next, 2 Infinite Imperm and 1 Rivalry, and these are the last of the traps. So I know what people are thinking with some deck profiles. Why not run 3 Infinite Imperm, and why not run something else instead of Rivalry or Sengenjin? Like I said, Sengenjin's just good for tribute, and he's also good discard fodder for Super Poly, because Super Poly's in this deck, but really good discard fodder. And then Rivalry, you are playing nothing but spellcasters. Like your main summons are all your monsters in the deck are spellcasters, except Sengenjin. Like, I mean, Sengenjin, let's face it, you'll never get on the field. He's just discard fodder at this point. But really, like most of your extra deck that you're summoning is just spellcasters. Because, like, again, this extra deck is mostly fodder for 1 card. But, yeah. So, Rivalry, really good card. Infinite Imperm. The rare chance of you opening up Infinite Imperm and Multi-Faker, that's just rarely or never going to happen. You're never going to have Multi-Faker and then Infinite Imperm go second. Oh, Infinite Imperm, negate, chain Multi-Faker. No, that's not really going to happen. So, only really 2 Infinite Imperm. You don't need 3. So, yeah. Next, your spell cards. 1 Pot of Duality. Just because can't special summon, really, but it just excavates the top 3 cards, and you don't really want to see it that much because you got better things to see. Funny card. So, yeah, just to excavate your deck and search. Also, then, here comes Super Polys. Again, Sengenjin, really good discard fodder. There's other better discard fodder, I know, but at this point, I'm doing it for a meme. Screw you. But, yeah. 3 Super Polys, and then the last spells. These is 3 Pot of Extravagance. I don't have them. They'll be here Friday, but I don't have them, so they're kind of expensive, and it took me a while to order them. I mean, $75 to almost $80 a piece. Like, you kidding me? No. So the effect of this card is you can banish 3 or 6 cards from your extra deck face down and draw 1 to 2 cards. So if you banish 3, draw 1, banish 6, draw 2. That's what I'm saying about your extra deck being mostly fodder. Downside, though, of this is you don't get to choose what you banish. You have to shuffle your extra deck, banish randomly from the top. So you can't do that. I mean, it's still a really good card. This deck loves it a lot just because it searches it out. You're only mainly carrying mostly about 3 cards in your extra deck. The rest are just, if you have them, cool. You're not really going to make them on an even basis. So, yeah. So the main deck was 42 cards. I'm going to try and see if I can skim it down to 40 and still be decent, but still be good, but yeah. So next up here, we are running for extra deck 2 Link Karibo. Oh shit, camera almost fell. And then 3, I didn't recognize it. 3 Hextia, 2 Prime Banshee, and then you got your Nightmares, your Cerberus, and Phoenix. And then your 1 Galatea, 1 Long, and then your Borreload and Boral Sword. Now, like I said, Link Karibo, you're only going to want to see 3 cards. This top row right here, you're going to want to see, because, like, Link Karibo, really good, because if you have, it's a really good turn 1, you can Mellow Seek, can do some fun stuff with it. Really good card, plus it can save your bacon. Hextia, also really good, because it's a negate, and if you have an Altergeist under its arrow, it gains that monster's attack. So Hextia can get pretty big. Prime Band, and also when Hexia goes to the grave, you can search an Altergeist. I think it was an Altergeist card. Yeah, you can add one Altergeist card from the deck to your hand. So if you link this card off, your opponent gets rid of it, or anything for that matter. Boom. Then your Prime Banshee's like, you're not really gonna get Prime Banshee off a lot, like it's just whatever. But it's just during the main phase, you can quick effect tribute one other Altergeist monster, special summon an Altergeist monster from your deck to the zone this card points to. If this card is sent from the field to the grave, you can target one Altergeist card in your grave, add it to your hand. So like, yeah, you can use this effect to summon Silk, and then use Silk effect to bounce. So kind of can be really funny. Also, get your resources back. You sometimes, so the next on to the Nightmares, you sometimes summon these two. It just all depends if you're going first or second. Like, if you're going first, you're not really going to care about these. They're just whatever. But if you're going second, like, Phoenix can get you out of jam, Cerberus can get you out of jam. Just because Phoenix destroys a spell or trap, Cerberus destroys a special summon monster. And then the Orcus, these are the two for the Cherries target. I was thinking about putting, I still have space for one more card. I was going to put Electromite, because that kills pens. And also, I'm just now realizing I forgot to put in the 2 Super Poly targets. I'm stupid, but anywho, now those are in, we can continue. I was thinking about putting Electromite in, because again, really good match, really good when you cherries that Electromite. Pens kind of have like one less thing, and it kind of slows them down a little bit. They can't really combo as hard, but they still get a decent amount off. But any advantage against them. And then the Boral Sword, those I've kind of gotten off. I've gotten like one or the other off, even amount of times. It's just mostly you're using your Crackdown to use your opponent's monsters to link. That's about it. And then your Super Poly targets, Starving Venom Fusion, most common. Really good card, though. And then Dragos to Paleo, just because it... so if you get Super Polyed first, and they summon Starving Venom, and you have Super Poly set, you use that and go into Dragos to Paleo. Free negate, and it's really funny. So, and then also, there's some other things. So, like, you could add Mud Dragon of the Swamp, because it's just 2 of any attribute, of the same attribute. So if your opponent's not really maining dark, really funny card to use. You could also use the new Predator Plant Fusion that came out in, I think it was Chaos Impact, something like that. Because you can, if you summon that, because it's 3 darks, you summon that and you have Drago and Grave, you can loop it back onto the field for you can bring back a Predator Plant monster for every Predator Plant counter that's on your opponent's side of the field. But let's just face it, if you get 3 Super Polys off in a game, something's wrong. You're not supposed to get 3 off. You're supposed to get 1, maybe 2 off. Maybe. But the ideal is just 1. But yeah, those are pretty much it right there. So, I mean, yeah, the deck's pretty solid again. It's a control deck, like I said, so it works very well. And now I will show you guys a basic combo for it, or what I have. So, like the basics. So with this deck, your hand most definitely is going to be a bunch of traps, and you want at least 1 monster. If you don't see a monster, but you see draw cards, it helps a lot. So, okay. I'm going to start this off here. All right, let's begin. Okay, that is not the greatest hand at all. That would be more like you could go first if you wanted to. Wow. I'm gonna be doing a couple hands with this just to show you guys some more. But this is out of randomness. This was kind of like a bad hand. So I would say this is going second hand. So you have Ash and you have Imperm in your hand. So it's really you get 2 negates, and then let's say you use them on your turn. Okay, so you have Crackdown. So what you can do here is so let's say they have a board, right? Super Poly, discarding Konkori. And then you would special summon Starving Venom. And then what you would do here is you would, let's say they have something, well, you could obviously do this beforehand, but you could normal summon Silk, Silk effect to bounce her and one of her card back to hand. And then you could set your Crackdown, enter battle, Starving Venom attack, and then you would pass. Because usually, if you Super Poly the right targets, and everything, obviously, but with most decks, when they get a lot on the field, it can mean game for them. And not only that, it's like, if they try and make it through, you have Crackdown, so on your turn, you would draw, okay, you have Personal Spoofing, not bad. So you would set one more, summon the Silk, and then just poke with the 2, and pass. And then, on their turn, if they were to do anything, you would activate Spoofing, and then you basically activate Spoofing, bounce Silk to hand to add your, basically add your Multifaker, and then Multifaker's effect would go off. Gotta find my Multifaker first, though. Okay, you would add Multifaker, and then Multifaker special summons itself, and one card from deck, and one Altergeist monster. So here you would summon, probably, you could summon under Silk, because then on your turn, you could use Spoofing's effect to bounce the Silk, shuffle the Silk in hand, or bounce Multifaker and add the Meliseek. So then it's like, you can get something off. So it's really nice. So then you have a semblance of a board. I mean, this is not guaranteed. So if your opponent has ways to get this out, ways to stop this because, he has more resources than you because your hand was terrible. But this is to do something like this deck can make terrible hands work, but not as well. So, and then we would pass then this would be still on his turn. So let's say you were to do something, we could use Silk Effect to bounce the Multifaker and bounce hit whatever he summoned. And then if he does something again, we could Crackdown Steal. Then he probably most likely pass. Oh, yeah, he Crackdown Steal and most likely just pass. So on our turn, we drew cherries. So that's something. But yeah, basic combo. And then and then I'll show you guys more of a simpler combo than, or a more likable hand than this. So your starting hand, something that you would probably want in a starting hand, like this is not normal, but it's, you could, this is like something that you would want most likely. So you got you probably wouldn't want Strike. You would want to see that 4, and then seeing Strike isn't a bad idea either. So if you see that in your opening hand and you're going first, that's almost like a instant game. It's pretty much an instant game because that's control. So what you do is you normal Meliseek, you normal Marionette effect to set your protocol from deck, and then basically after that, you would just set the rest of your cards and just pass. So 5 sets and a monster, and it's on and then your opponent goes. On their turn, you would activate Protocol. Just to, have that kind of protection. So it's really good because then you can do that, and then what you would do else here. So let's say he does get a monster effect on board and activates it. You would use Protocol to negate, and then you'd wait. And then let's say he does more, you'd activate Manifestation, summoning Marionetter, and then you would chain your Spoofing to bounce Manifestation to hand, which, yeah, you can shuffle one on Altergeist card for your hand or face. No, actually you would not. So actually you would probably, let's see, I'm trying to think, because I kind of remembers. So you would actually shuffle back Protocol, because you've already used the monster negate. And then you would add your multi-faker to hand, and then multi-faker goes off, special summoning multi-faker, and then one other card from deck. So you would summon summon Silk. That right there, if your opponent still manages to get something over your field, like, because you still have a strike and you still have a judgment and you also still have a Silk. Like, if he manages to get over it, I don't, at this point, I don't know what the fuck. But like, this is like a really simple. This is really a simple combo deck. Combo. This is a simple control deck, but it's not really simple. But you go first. You open up a monster and a bunch of traps. You set everything. You do everything right. You're controlling your opponent. Usually, most people, once they realize and once you've done enough with their field, they'll pass or they'll give you the game win. So yeah, this deck is pretty potent, but yeah, it's also really fun. So if you guys like this deck profile, again, please subscribe, like, and comment down below. Helps me out. And then also leave a comment to see if you want to see a Gravekeeper deck profile or something else on this channel, because more than gladly would do it for you guys. So yeah, without further ado, I will end it here, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.